Hi everyone, you on the Medicine Mommy SA YouTube channel, and I am author, radio presenter, as well as journalist Lauren Jacobs. And I wanted to just come in and check in with all of you and just let you know on some of my little, I would say, self-care tips or tips on what's keeping me sane during this lockdown period. I think that what's made it easier for me is that my husband and I decided to self-isolate 2 weeks before the actual lockdown started. And so it was kind of a little test on what could be done and how we could do it. As well, it was actually really, really good because it was a time where I was able to process through some very real feelings that came up. And that's one of the things that I want to share with you all while I do this video is that a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on how we should be and how we should act. But during this time, what we need to remember is that our brains are sensing for and processing and looking at the situation that we are in and processing through all the information we are receiving, be it via social media, normal journalistic media, be it through things that our friends are saying or things that people are doing, and looking at all of this and saying, are we in danger? And our brain is wired to protect us, which means that we will be in a fight or flight reality. And so right at the beginning of self-isolation and going into lockdown, I experienced very heightened emotions of anger, grief, loss of, personal sense of freedom, and all of those things were very hard to process, as well as a lot of things being cancelled, a lot of meetings being cancelled, speaking events being cancelled. It was very, very hard to process because life as I knew it had actually changed. And so I want to say firstly to you today is that give yourself permission to feel. You do not have to process emotions as quick as someone else does. You do not even have to process your experience of this time in the same way that someone else will. If you feel overwhelmed, allow yourself to feel overwhelmed. If you feel anxious, allow yourself to feel anxious. If you feel joy, feel joy. Be present with your own emotions in this time because your brain is trying to keep you alive. And so that is why we will experience fight or flight realities. And that's one of the first things that I am very aware of during this time is that I'm being very real with how I feel. And if I'm overwhelmed, I allow myself to sit in that reality and be overwhelmed. And then if I feel happy at times, which I do, I allow myself to feel happy as well without feeling guilty for feeling that way or minimizing my experience. The other thing that's really helped me during this time is to be working intuitively. As a speaker, a lot of my engagements are obviously cancelled. I do a lot of breakfast and networking, meetings and connecting with people, which of course is not happening right now and won't be happening, for most of us. And so I have beautiful things that I obviously have not got to because I've been busy doing the more important things. So now I wake up in the morning and after a time of prayer, I will intuitively think about what I want to start doing. And so I do have things that I want to start doing and things that were on my plate before lockdown. Now I can do it intuitively. There are no deadline dates. There are no times for those things being finished. So if I want to spend 3 hours researching, that's what I do. If I want to spend an hour writing a new devotional, that's what I do. But I do exactly what my intuition is telling me to do. So if it tells me I need to exercise first, that's what I do. If it tells me to work for 4 hours, then that's what I do. So work according to where you're at. You need to give yourself amazing grace at this time because this time is a time that we're not used to. It's something that's difficult and we are processing it all in our own way. The third thing that has really helped me in this time is to have a dedicated routine for exercise. Now, I want you to know that you don't have to be an exercise guru and be doing the plank and you have to be doing 50 sit-ups and stuff because I have multiple injuries and I cannot do things like that. So I do Leslie Sanson's walk at home videos, which are about 50 minutes long and it's a 1 mile walk. Your heart rate goes up really, really quickly and it's interval training. And so it's amazing because you can keep really fit and you can do this in between workspaces or times when you just have a small gap. And let me tell you something, I'm clocking up more steps and more activity than I normally do before lockdown. So having a dedicated routine of exercise and movement every day is very good for your body. So please do that. And also, be kind to yourself, give yourself permission to feel. Use your intuition, use your emotions, use what is happening to you right now and channel it towards a place of goodness and to just listening to yourself and to just being kind to yourself. Try also not to overeat, because I did that right at the beginning. Emotional eating is going to happen at this time. That's why we're all doing it. We're trying to deal with the situation, and often we do that by medicating ourselves with food. But I found that I got quite sick right at the beginning, and so I realized my body actually didn't want those things, and I'm still trying to process through those things because I was eating stuff that I don't eat on a normal day. So try not to do that, because it's our emotions telling us to do that, but our body's not going to benefit. Take your immune boosters and be safe. Most importantly, have a time of prayer and just seek the spiritual things that are really going to guide you through this time. And you know what? We are going to be okay.